Всем привет, с вами Элизабет, и мы с вами продолжаем прохождение игры Шерлок Холмс, глава первая. Нам сейчас нужно поговорить с Полом.
Your fellow mariners have a strange way of showing hospitality.
They were not my friends.
Are you sure? I would rather risk my neck for someone who's at least honest and thankful.
Perhaps then don't enter someone's life and be so judgmental, pretending you're better than they are.
Then give me your perspective and allow me to see through your eyes. I tried to tell you before, but your partners interrupted. Have you heard the news? Theodore Gilden is dead. Do you have anything to say?
Well, what a shock. To me, he was an angry old ogre. Good riddance. Was it Goliath that killed him? Did it crush him? Break his bones? Come on, tell me. I want all the details.
You have an unusual way of showing grief. Imogen wouldn't appreciate that. But yes, the animal could have been involved.
It's poetic in a way, isn't it? It takes a beast to kill a monster. I wish I could have been that elephant.
What were you doing this morning, Miss Perks?
Don't call me that. I'm a champion. I was sailing.
The other club members told me that you missed the race this morning. Do champions not need to practice?
You've talked with them already. No, I wasn't racing. I visited the doctor after that attack on me. And then I had to honor the deal with the bandits you just took care of.
This business of yours, you should be more careful. Ruining your life at such a young age is ridiculous.
I am careful. Except for you, no one has noticed where I store the smuggled goods. If the police arrive, there's no link to me. It's common storage, not exclusively mine.
You smuggle illicit psychotropes on your yacht. Not a delivery for the hospital, I'm sure.
Of course not. I've had to cut corners to earn some money. How might a person afford to pay for a yacht in an honest way? I don't know, although I'm smart. The buyers are my customers. Adults who are willing to pay for their pleasure, or weapons for jewels. Whatever they want me to deliver. Nothing criminal.
Well, it's your lucky day. I'm not here because of smuggling. Have you tasted this tea yourself?
I wouldn't have been a champion if I had used it. It's just a side business that keeps my career afloat. It's quite expensive to compete in yachting. Sometimes I cut corners.
Such as fixing whirlpool yourself?
Exactly. And sometimes I just have to pay. That's how I earn money. I don't sell slaves or take the last mangear from a poor family.
It seems as though Theodore Gilden hung a sword of Damocles over your life and career. Were these only words, or something more serious?
Check my forearm. Pulled muscles and bruises. Small cuts. Nothing that you could call serious.
I doubt that a man in his late 50s could wrestle you.
It wasn't him. He behaved like a rat and hired brutes. His boys tried to lock my hands behind my back, but I was faster and I escaped.
Was he so protective of his daughter, or was it your feminine secret that provoked him?
My guess is that he was protecting his property. As he saw it, he owned Imogen, and he treated her like a piece of furniture. He didn't want his daughter to be loved by anyone. What's more painful is that Theodore didn't allow me to love his daughter. Typical.
I'm not sure that your relationship with Imogen could be described as typical.
Are you afraid of a woman in trousers? Now that's typical of men.
A charming picture. I've heard that champions do often pose with their trophies.
Cheeky. It is a lovely trophy, though. I'm sure you will agree.
What is it that you like most about her? Her naivety? Her father's money?
A somewhat difficult choice. Especially now that her father is out of the equation.
A. Swift. Are you familiar with this name? The gentleman had business with Mr. Gilden.
Likely just another strange and wrinkled fellow like old Gilden was. Perhaps this Swift person has a rhino, and they wanted to see which pet was stronger. In other words, I don't know who he is, but I bet he's crazy like Theodore.
I doubt that Cortona has ever boasted a battle arena for that size of mammal. You have an interesting imagination. Between yachts, darts, and notes from bandits, I've discovered many fascinating facts about you. But this, an installment of Nabe and Laura's adventures. Why did you sully your library with this?
It's a gift from Imogen. I didn't buy it. I might have turned a couple of pages, but nothing more. I swear.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt, but your literary taste has put you on my blacklist. Look what I found. A box full of darts.
Hey, that's mine.
I confiscated it. These darts appear to be filled with something. Poison? How powerful is it?
It's strychnine. Enough to instantly kill a small rodent. I haven't tried it on a human. Yet. I hope you know what you're doing.
Could it immobilize a larger animal, say, an elephant?
I've never tried, but I have wondered.
Imogen doesn't strike me as an industrious young lady, so I find it strange that she was busy packing up all her belongings when Mr. Gilden died. That's some favorable wind in your sails, isn't it?
Is it so suspicious that a couple might embark on a trip? I wanted to thank her, so we planned to go traveling. A Theodore-free place, without elephants.
The timing of it is suspicious, however. Your lady friend becomes an orphan and heir, and there's a planned trip directly afterwards.
An improvised romantic dinner will never please a spoilt girl. A planned voyage might. It's not spur of the moment.
Does this knife seem familiar? I didn't find it in your competitor's back, to be clear.
This knife is as blunt as your humor. It's a bosun's knife, but it's not mine. I wouldn't be so careless as to mislay my tools.
What can you tell me about the elephant?
He's smarter than some people here, including his owner. Although I feel he could be dangerous, no matter how much he's fed.
Why is that? Have you ever seen Goliath attack anyone?
Well, not exactly. But I saw it, abusing some poor tree during one of its walks with Theodore. The expression on that old ninny's face was priceless. But it wasn't funny to look at. Believe me, it was frightening.
Посмотрим на улики. Нужно вернуться сейчас в дом Гилдена и поговорить с Эмоджи.
Have you seen what your father sent to Paul?
This is despicable. My father was never a gentleman, but this crosses the line. I knew that father wasn't fond of Paul, but this is just awful. If only he could have seen how good Paulie is to me.
Are you aware that Paul smuggles drugs for a dangerous gang?
Mr. Holmes, I've already told you. I call him a pirate in play. He's not an actual pirate. He's a champion and a brave gentleman, not a thug.
Let us agree to disagree on that. But don't be surprised if one of his clients knocks on your door. A. Swift, is this name familiar to you? Your father had it removed from this plan.
Oh, that's Arthur Swift. I've seen him a couple of times here. He works with my father in the old city, digging up something ancient.
He is an archaeologist?
That's the word, yes. But to be truthful, I really don't think Mr. Swift is fit to be one. I've just learnt a lot about archaeology from my favourite book series. Oh, they are page-turners.
Inspirational, I'm sure, but would you happen to know where this Mr. Swift might be found?
I don't, but perhaps you can find out somewhere. My father's work with him is all official. Lots of boring legal papers with signatures and stuff.
And, which part of the elephant is in here? It's quite pungent.
Oh, that. It's elephant sweat. Father believed that it might replace traditional ambergris.
Well, that's true entrepreneur spirit.
I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I don't have any thoughts on this. I've nothing to say about this. I've nothing to say about this.
I have to leave you for now.
Посмотрим на улики. Сейчас нам нужно отправиться в архив, который находится в ратуше.
Does it look remotely familiar to you?
Should it?
Concentrate, Sherry.
Are you lost, sir?
Not at all. I'm right where I need to be. I'm Sherlock Holmes, by the way.
Ursula Oni, the chief archivist. How can I help you exactly?
I need to take a look at the history of Cordona and its islanders to retrieve some, hopefully, useful information.
Your brother Mycroft told me that you were direct, and now that we've met, I can see that is true.
Someone in our family has to balance the evasive nature of my brother. Well, may I use the city archives?
You may, of course, but in return, perhaps dinner?
That's a high price to pay for looking at your archives.
I was teasing you. Pay no attention to me.
Выбираем субъекты, предпринимательство, реестр, правовые бумаги, районы, старый город. Лист регистрации. Санкции правительства Кордоны этот документ подтверждает создание компании Гилден и Свифт 21 июня 1877 года. Будучи единоличным владельцем и основателем вышеуказанного предприятия, Теодор Гилден обязуется предоставлять финансирование и участок земли римской окраины для дел компании. Будучи партнером-учредителем, Артур Свифт обязуется предоставлять финансирование и квалифицированные услуги в области археологии. Основная цель предприятия – проведение археологических раскопок на территории развалин на перекрестке Базар-Роуд и Арно-Стрит, за стенами старого города в Кордоне. Ниже подписавшийся единоличный владелец обязуется предоставлять финансирование в обмен на право владения найденными в ходе раскопок предметами, предоставляющими историческую ценность. Ниже подписавшийся партнер-учредитель отказывается от права владения найденными в ходе раскопок предметами в обмен на исключительное право публикации сведений о находках в академических целях.
With your love for archives, you would have made the perfect bureaucrat.
Нам предстоит теперь отправиться в старый город на раскопки. Сейчас нам нужно отправиться вот в это место. купим заодно мебель для особняка.
Don't pass by.
Come! Marhaba. It's a good day for a purchase. May your purchase bring you joy.
Мы на месте.
From day to night, Aiden stands there, recruiting non-rebellious workers for the day.
И мы здесь можем подслушать разговор. Я выяснил, что на раскопки пускают только рабочих. Некий Айден нанимает людей на рынке в западной части старого города. Его можно узнать по шраму на шее. Он выбирает тех, кто лоялен к британцам. Значит, мы отправляемся на рынок и будем искать этого Айдена. Переоденемся в костюм рабочего.
Merhaba.
Теперь ищем Айдена.
Sir, kind sir, might I steal your attention?
I'm not buying.
Ah, that is the thing. You won't waste a single mangir. I am a digger, you see, and I have heard of a dig site so deep it clogs your ears. I want to be there.
Why are you telling me this?
I have heard of a man recruiting for such a dig. A man with a scar, such as the one that you're hiding. And your boots are dirty with the deep clay I am so familiar with. Oh, I hope it wasn't too rude of me to point that out.
You have a good eye. And you just want to dig? Dig deep and that's it? What's the catch? Are you in desperate need of money?
Oh, there is no catch, sir. I won't even ask for advance pay. Just give me a shovel and I'll dig a hole like you've never seen.
Huh. Is that so? Well, I have to ask you an important question first. Would you be fine working for Brits?
I am all for them.
Well, you say that, but can you prove it?
You know how much I love tea? Once I drank so much of it, my eyes turned brown.
Fine. You're a fan. I'll give you that.
I can also speak in limericks.
Please don't. You might be a little bit weak in the head, but a natural born digger with a keen eye is what we need. Take this permission slip and go to this address. The guard will let you in and check with the professor once you're there.
Теперь, когда мы получили пропуск на раскопки, мы можем вернуться обратно и уже попасть на эти самые раскопки.
Stop loitering and get inside.
На раскопки мы попали. Теперь нам нужно найти профессора Свифта.
Newcomer, talk to the professor first. He's the old fellow with the glasses and the plans.
Where's the fire in your eyes? Where's the smile? I am sick and tired of seeing apathy among the new workers.
Sir, believe me, I do have the spark. I want to start work straight away. It's as important to me as it is to you.
Ah, that's the spirit. I'm on the verge of a great discovery.
I am ready to work.
Splendid. Do you know what I am working on?
Archaeological treasure. You're hoping to find something priceless, something that will change our history.
Bravo, young man. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's true. We're looking for Vitus Lemonius's tomb.
I'll help you. That is my goal as a worker.
Good. Listen to me carefully, then. I hate repeating myself. I am Professor Swift. We have 3 rules here. Don't touch anything, always return the tools, and don't distract me unless you find something.
Sounds simple enough. Are you the only one in charge here, Mr. Swift?
Yes, I am the only one, and no one else. You hear anything other than that, it's a lie. People of your kind can have difficulty understanding who's in charge. Take a minute, memorize my face, and then get to work.
Oh, I will definitely take a closer look to memorize my superior.
Составляем портрет Артура Свифта. Делаем вывод, что он стремится к знаниям.
I wish I could be as passionate about something as you are, Mr. Swift. You value knowledge and dedication over everything else.
It's a long road, young man. A sharp eye and attention to detail are the only stepping stones along this path. You have to sacrifice everything you love for the larger prize.
Exactly. So much in life is superficial. I wish more people would understand.
I never heard a truer word, lad. Folk will ignore what truly matters in life, and for what? Convenience.
Bold words indeed. I doubt that many scientists would be willing to support their bragging with fieldwork.
The academic world is full of restrictions. Our honorable professors are too afraid to dirty their hands. God forbid if they have a stain on their shirt. You can follow in my footsteps. You can start learning by returning to work. Show me what you can find.
Сейчас внимательно осматриваем все на раскопках, поскольку это нам даст подсказки к тому, что мы будем делать дальше.
Straw dolls. Eerie, but effective for a scene recreation.
Oh, I want one of these. Or 2.
Тит и Вит Лимоний – легендарные легаты ранней эпохи Римской империи. Свою военную карьеру они начали с подавления восстаний беловаков и алаброгов, а в дальнейшем отличились при осаде Мутины и в сражении при Акциуме. Новый император Август даровал братьям одинаковые мечи, предположительно принадлежавшие Ромулу и Рему. В качестве легатов братья воевали в Далмации и африканских провинциях и прославились тем, что почитали малоизвестных богов. Тит молился Эвру, а его брат Зефиру. Те немногие сведения, что нам известны, доступны из описания Плиния Старшего. Тит носил шкуру льва на плечах и львиную голову на шлеме. Эту традицию он перенял, будучи сигнифером. У Вита был огромный щит, способный заслонить небо. Хотя точное местоположение гробницы остается неизвестным, историки знают, что Тит умер весной 10 года, а Вит осенью 12 года.
Oilcloth. Won't fade and waterproof. Enough here to make 10 sails and more. This reminds me of my father's room. A plan for this whole operation.
В окрестностях Коринфа британский археолог сэр Джордж Гриффитс обнаружил хорошо сохранившуюся гробницу римского легата Тита Лимония, владельца легендарного меча Ромула, который подарил ему сам Август, первый император Римской империи. В эксклюзивном интервью сэр Джордж описал находку как бесценный вклад в историю человечества. Вход в гробницу был обнаружен в ходе раскопок вокруг величественных статуй. По словам сэра Джорджа, статуи изображают жизнь Тита. Женская статуя, предположительно матери, державшая корзину с фруктами, смотрит на запад. Другая женская фигура, возможно осенняя, с серпом в руке, смотрит на восток. Сэр Джордж предполагает, что эти статуи олицетворяют Зефира и Эвруса. В них есть общие мотивы со статуями двух братьев – Тита и Вита. Достижения археологов уже отметили в Лондоне. Продолжаем осматриваться. Находим третью книгу для спора с Джоном.
Sharpest pickaxe. The guilty pleasure of the real archaeologist. Missing your Laura, Mr. Swift?
Hey, a word about the trilogy.
Right then, you literary expert, what was so important about these books? Or did you simply need some kindling?
It's inspirational. I have a plan. Are you listening?
I wish I wasn't, but I am.
So, we catch a monkey, a langur, for example, then we extract some blood from it.
What? Why?
It will make us forever young, Sherry. Page 127 of the second book.
Oh, I am so done with this.
No, wait. Then how about we make a wax statue?
I've stopped listening, John.
Swift lost his temper when he learned what happened to the statue.
Подслушиваем разговор. Рабочие обнаружили на раскопках статую со шлемом в виде головы льва. Она находилась на постаменте, который ближе к берегу, но кто-то ее столкнул. Статуя разбилась, а постамент теперь стоит криво.
somehow the text remains legible. Let's see if I remember my Latin.
Латинская надпись у 4 постаментов гласит: «Рядом покоится вид, да убоится тот, кто захочет нарушить его покой, ибо хранят его взор брата и осеннего ветра». Нам сейчас нужно осмотреть это место.
A sickle for harvesting. The ancient Romans honored the seasons. A goddess? A mother? Someone's wife? There were 4 statues here originally.
I wonder what the 3 other statues look like.
I see now. Mr. Swift didn't realize the significance of the statues.
Теперь нам нужно понять, как же стоят эти статуи. Эту пока оставим в покое. Здесь явно статуя с серпом. Вернемся к найденным подсказкам. Понимаем, что напротив стоит статуя с корзиной. На этом месте у нас должна стоять статуя с щитом, но повернутая в другую сторону. И последняя статуя с головой льва. Подтверждаем.
It seems everything's in place. Now, let's see what this has to tell us.
Теперь мы можем найти могилу.
Here is your discovery, Mr. Swift. Hey, look at this.
What have you found? Don't let anyone touch anything there. Eureka! I found you, my friend.
Пока профессор занят, мы можем осмотреть его вещи.
A box of darts, handy against rodents of all kinds.
Автор популярной книги «Хоботы и бивни» подробно и удивительно точно описывает поведение слонов в природе и в неволе. Одна из глав посвящена брачному периоду. В это время слоны становятся крайне опасными. Личный дневник Артура Свифта. В нем он подробно описывает свою жизнь и исследования. Здесь есть любопытная запись о ссоре с Теодором Гилденом из-за раскопок. День 1224. Теодор вечно пользуется деньгами, чтобы заткнуть рты недовольным. Лучше бы купил себе побольше извилин, чтобы оценить масштаб происходящего. Не все на свете крутится вокруг проклятого слона. У меня есть лишь несколько месяцев, а потом он начнет строительство. И ладно бы строил что-то красивое. Ванны из слоновой кости. Какая пошлость! Нельзя допустить, чтобы исторический памятник погребла под собой обыденность. Я должен что-то придумать.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Trying to take over my research, are you? I come here to pick up my diary, and I find you snooping around. Explain yourself.
Mr. Swift, if that were true, I would have been on my way to the newspaper. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I didn't have a chance to introduce myself properly.
Outrageous! You deceived me, sir. What is the reason for your being here? Who sent you, Mr. Holmes?
Theodore Gilden's premature death brought me here.
Theodore is dead? How can that be possible?
I'm thinking of all the possibilities, and I'm not crossing out anyone who might have been involved. Even his elephant. The land you're excavating belongs to Mr. Gilden, does it not?
Did I hear an accusation? I have nothing to hide. You can ask me whatever nonsense you've prepared as a token of my diminishing respect towards you.
Very well, Mr. Swift. I appreciate your cooperation. Were you at the site this morning?
Affirmative. This project is taking a lot of my time, as you see. I spend more time underground than on the surface.
When did you learn about Theodore's death?
Just now. You just told me.
And you aren't surprised, shocked? I won't tell anyone if you shed a tear or two. Weren't you partners, after all?
We were. And it is a real shame. But I've seen too many deaths in my life, Mr. Holmes, for the news to truly shake me.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Gilden?
A couple of days ago. We discussed the site. I believe in the tomb and its secrets. Theodore's patience was stretched, however. He was already inventing new projects. It wasn't a long conversation. I suppose that his daughter will inherit everything now, along with all of the eccentricities and problems.
And not forgetting Goliath.
Eccentricities and problems, Mr. Holmes. One of many. Will you allow me to return to my research, or are you insisting on remaining an obstacle?
Oh, I haven't even started yet. You have a weakness for nostalgia? Or, rather, do you use it to record a list of enemies?
Young man, you need to check your moral compass. Reading another person's diary is a sin in every culture that I can think of.
But you aren't answering the question.
You've already read it. Why bother? I simply record my life to keep my memory clean from misinterpretation. Letters and pages don't lie.
But the writer of the text can. With this book, you attempted to plan an attack on the elephant?
Your insinuations are out of place. Goliath is a frightening animal. All I wished to do was to understand the creature. As any scientist would do, I researched, analyzed, and drew conclusions.
And what conclusion did you draw?
That Theodore Gilden made the animal miserable. He couldn't provide the proper environment for the beast. My interest in the subject ended there.
What's with this box of darts? Is it for a scientific argument?
A little darker than that. Rather for killing the kind of rodents that might nibble a nose or a toe in your sleep.
Let's just say I have to protect myself against a larger animal, such as an elephant. Might it be enough to stop it, make it faint?
If I were you, I wouldn't bank on it. Moving on. Moving on. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man.
Did this plan cause a rift in your business relationship with Theodore Gilden?
Nothing like that. Admittedly, we didn't share a common vision of what is more important, the past or the future. In my opinion, we can't build a future without knowing the past.
So you wanted to save the tomb of Vitus here, or perhaps your control over the research?
Only the knowledge that rightly belongs to humankind, nothing less and nothing more. Moving on.
Remember one of the rules? It seems that you didn't return a tool. Is this knife yours?
Do I look like a fellow who carries a knife? I don't need it.
There are plenty of uses for it on the site, and outside of it.
I have other people to cut ropes for me, Mr. Holmes.
Your partner had a very specific attitude towards the things he treasured. Was this habitual for him?
That would have been too much even for him. Don't get me wrong, he had a harsh temper. Like a true businessman, he was ready to burn his competitors to the ground.
But threatening someone physically would have been something new even for him, am I correct?
Absolutely. Besides, I had never seen him this angry. The fellow who received the letter must have been extremely alarmed.
Gilden's elephant is quite an unusual addition to Cordona's fauna. What is your scientific opinion on that?
No matter how much Theodore loved it, it still remained a wild animal trapped inside a stone pen. Goliath needs savannas, fields, lakes.
I'm sure that Goliath did not have a plan to kill his owner to head to the savannas. What do you think?
No, animals don't kill in a typical sense. I can only presume that it tried to protect itself from captivity, from Theodore. It was a gilded cage that was predestined to break. I've nothing to add. Moving on.
I forgot I left some stones unturned. I have to leave.
Посмотрим на улики. Переходим в чертоги разума. Проводим химический анализ. Видим, что у нас добавились новые реагенты. Соединяем вместе красные и зеленые реагенты. И к ним добавляем синий. Теперь мы можем поймать Голиафа. Для этого нам нужна ткань с раскопок, наутофон из мастерской и феромоны, которые мы уже получили в результате анализа. Забираем ткань.
This fabric will work.
И теперь идем в мастерскую пола за наутофоном.
It might fool an elephant.
Mrs. Nini seemed to know her sewing inside out. I bet she missed us.
I hope Miss Nini won't misunderstand me.
Идем к миссис Нини.
Good day, madam. I've come to you with a special requirement. The tailors on the street can't help me, I'm afraid. Could you make a doll for me?
Oh, Signor Holmes. You taught the police how to do their job, and they found the thief. Of course I will help you. But what sort of doll? A child's doll, such as my great niece might play with?
A little larger than your typical doll.
Signore, I don't understand. Boy, girl, animal, and what color?
Animal, a passionate, perhaps amorous animal.
Ah, Signore, you talk in riddles. I am an old lady who's seen it all. Tell me what you need.
I need a life-size elephant.
I think Mrs. Nini outdid herself with this one. Is that a tail?
That's a trunk, John, but I must agree with you that it's her masterpiece.
Well, let's not waste any time.
Идем к сараю в доме Килдена и надуваем нашу куклу.
The game is on.
So, what's the plan? I hope it all doesn't go horribly wrong.
We know that the elephant is seeking a female. We can arrange that. A doll with the appropriate scent might do miracles.
So you're a marriage broker. Well, I suppose that makes me a groomsman. Oh, she is a bit breezy, I must say.
Well, Goliath is eager for a single female elephant in his area. It should be just enough for his taste. You'll need to trust me.
Are we ready? I can't stand the tension.
We're ready. Let's call the elephant.
How could anyone resist? I knew a lady once who said just that. Too bad I'm not an elephant. Take your time, Sherry. That deserves a slap. And then a kiss.
And here's our lovesick friend.
What is the meaning of this? Why are you bringing it here? I won't allow you to leave it.
I assure you that it is only a temporary measure. It won't be long until the elephant is gone, I promise you.
Сейчас нам нужно осмотреть Голиафа.
It injured itself while running through the forest. Peaceful and compliant, almost a gentleman. The left tusk is larger and more worn. You're a left-tusked elephant. A feathered fletching. There's something in the needle. This might be promising.
Проводим химический анализ. Соединяем два зеленых реагента. Добавляем к ним красный. Открываем чертоги разума и соединяем полученные нами улики. Делаем вывод, что виноват профессор Свифт. Вернемся сейчас на раскопки и предъявим обвинение профессору.
You are guilty, Mr. Swift. Killing Theodore Gilden was a testing challenge. You succeeded.
What makes you think I'm somehow involved in Gilden's death? My partner's death, I might remind you.
Your dart uses strychnine to kill rodents at the site, is that correct?
Well, yes, that is its purpose.
The same dart with strychnine was found on Goliath. The very same substance is a powerful stimulant. It causes convulsions, a flow of energy. You shot Goliath. The elephant became extremely energetic, agitated, and so terrified that it killed its owner. For a man of your age, it was easier to hit a larger grey target than a small man.
You said it yourself. Goliath killed Theodore, and your strychnine speculations are absurd. Only athletes use it as a stimulant, not elephants.
True, but one dart of strychnine would not be enough to kill the elephant, and you knew it. Let me tell you a story. A man spends almost 5 years of his life locating an artifact. He puts every ounce of energy and money into his research. The same man even goes so far as to sign a contract with a ruthless man, a businessman. It was a risk, but the reward would be worth it. Years go by and there's still no result, so the businessman decides to end the man's research. He spits on the research, he promises to bury the site under an eccentric project. All of this is just his whim. Theodore Gilden could do anything he wanted with this place, and you were anxious about the fate of your research. You wished to protect it. You tried to tame Gilden's eccentricity, but you killed him instead.
Theodore wasn't trying to sabotage my career. We had a disagreement, but it wasn't as dire as you describe it. He wasn't a pleasure to talk to, but killing him? Nonsense.
You were there when Theodore Gilden died.
Nonsense. I visited him many times, but I wasn't there when the elephant killed him.
Then I must have made a mistake, because the murderer met Goliath's rage personally. The perpetrator was hit by the gate and thrown into the shed. Your bruise matches the contour of the broken hole. One further detail is that the murderer had a bosun's knife, fairly useful in a place where one might cut ropes and fabric, such as, I don't know, the dig site?
That's your interpretation of the facts, Mr. Holmes. You've simply aligned them to suit your hypothesis.
It's not a hypothesis once proven, it's theory, Mr. Swift. Theodore Gilden was a capricious man, extremely impulsive. But the cold-blooded nature of your plan makes you even more dangerous. You feel nothing. You show no remorse. It was simply a calculated move. And that is why you are under arrest.
Nothing. You have nothing on me.
I think I'll let the police decide if my findings are substantial enough for prosecution.
This is all a dreadful mistake. This can't be happening. The elephant killed Theodore.
Goliath is innocent and he should be free. He is not the real murderer here. That is the apex of your career, Mr. Swift. Farewell.
I told you Mr. Swift was not a real archaeologist. He was a murderer. I knew there was something wrong with him.
Fortunately for us, being a murderer was not his profession. And about the elephant?
While you were busy, I've dealt with it. No thanks to you. I asked you to solve this wretched problem, but you didn't.
I couldn't be in two places at once, Miss Gilden. I was catching your father's murderer. But how have you dealt with it?
A man agreed to take the elephant away. He came to me asking for permission to relocate it to his property, and I accepted.
Well, congratulations, I suppose. That is one less problem.
Actually, two, Mr. Holmes. I found my father's possessions that you can take with you and disappear.
I appreciate it, truly.
Well, someone has to do something. Take everything if you need to, and leave me be.
Take care of yourself, Miss Gilden.
Дорогой Теодор, тебе хорошо известно, как сильно я ценю нашу дружбу. Я разделяю твою тягу к приключениям, а твоя поддержка в трудные времена была бесценна. Я бесконечно благодарна судьбе за то, что мы с Тигером оказались с тобой в одной экспедиции. Это знакомство изменило мою жизнь к лучшему. Тем не менее, я не слепа и не умею лицемерить. Я знаю, что твои чувства ко мне стали сильнее. Прости меня, Теодор, но я их не разделяю. Я должна как можно скорее избавить тебя от мук безответной любви. Прикладываю к письму ожерелье, которое ты подарил на память о нашем приключении. Совесть более не позволяет мне его носить. Я знаю, что это письмо причинит тебе сильную боль. И искренне прошу прощения. Мое сердце отдано Сигеру, который ничего не знает о твоих чувствах. Если пожелаешь прекратить нашу дружбу, я пойму, но от всей души надеюсь, что мы и дальше сможем встречаться для бесед и совместных проектов.
My mother always wore this around her neck until one day it disappeared. I was wondering where it went. She said it was a birthday present from a good friend. I just had another glimpse of a memory, John. It's fuzzy, but I'm sure it happened somewhere in the manor.
Finally moving forward. Shall we go?
На этом мы с вами заканчиваем. Всем удачи, всем пока и увидимся в следующей серии.